Good morning. It's Labor Day weekend, and I thought I'd do another tour through the garden, kind of the 1 month marker that I've been doing the last few months, looking at how things are coming along. I pulled the loofah off of this guy. It was huge. It was going everywhere. The petunias in the yard are doing okay. I haven't been keeping up on the bedworm spray, and I haven't been regularly fertilizing, so they're not doing as well as they have in the past. I trimmed the lavender back too late for it to really flush back. As you can see, I love that chartreuse color, and I like the look of the green, and that is something I'm going to be focusing on next year, is adding more green structure to the yard, because that is something that I really like. There's a few people that I follow on social media whom I really like their style, and I'm going to try harder to emulate what they're doing. This area right here I modeled after something that I saw Linda Vodder do at her old house. I liked the idea of the boxwood structure from these towers. They're going to get maybe 6 feet tall, so they're going to add a nice height to here. And then the orange rockets will get a little shorter, but they'll add another layer of height. I'll have a curve kind of going up and down in the yard, kind of giving it like visual interest. Anyway, so here I have a spirea, daylilies, pterodyrus, orange rocket, and what is supposed to be a blue arrow juniper. Now the blue arrow juniper is supposed to stay really tight, and I did have it bound for quite a while trying to get the wood to harden tighter, but I didn't want to leave it bound for too long, so I opened it up and it spread out. This is not what I've seen pictures of. I don't think it's supposed to look like this, but this is what's happening for me. And you know, it'll be fine. This is the Rose of Sharon, which I have loved watching. I love these flowers. The purple pillar Rose of Sharon. Now this is going to get 12 feet tall. This morning I saw a hummingbird going after all the trumpets on these flowers. All this time I didn't think they were coming into the yard, but maybe they're just too small or they're not in our visual zone. So that was exciting to see. My peaches are actually starting to get soft. I am excited to see all of this develop. The Fuyu persimmon still has 1 persimmon on it. Late yesterday afternoon, I decided to clean up the verbena that had been in this area. I bought 2 packs of 6, I think, at the beginning of the season, and they just never really took off. I was really disappointed with the performance. They were often more out of bloom than they were in bloom, and they just didn't put on the color or the size that I had hoped for. So I pulled them out because I decided I would rather look at the brown versus the sad looking plants. My raised bed experiment to work with plants I'd never used before has been going pretty well. These have started to spill and are looking really pretty. I love the size of the dwarf Gara. It's much more manageable, I think, than some of the more traditional Gara. And this little delicate guy, the Bacopa, I really have been enjoying the small blooms. It has started to drop off the sides, so that was what I was hoping. The vegetable garden is kind of in its last stages. I have been trying to tree form this zucchini plant. I haven't necessarily kept on it very well. I just lifted it up again the other day. And the tomatoes have been better productive than last year because they didn't do as well when I had them on that trellis over there last year. Got some baby eggplants forming here. There's plenty of them. Quite a few eggplant on the underside of these plants. So it's been doing well. The marigolds are doing well, but I just noticed this earlier this week. One of them up and died. I really have no idea why. I am not exactly sure what's wrong with these. I do know that the leafhopper is in this area. When you move the leaves, they go flying everywhere, and I can see the stippling. I know leafhopper, I know spider mites, I know whiteflies, they do this all too. So I'm not sure what exactly is wrong. I know I've had issues with spider mites in the past. I don't want to spray pesticides all the time around the yard. I did try washing them down on a regular basis because I understand that spider mites don't care for it, but I don't think I was as successful as maybe I had hoped it would be. The coleus is looking beautiful. It's something that I'd never grown before, and I decided to try it in this pot, and they have done beautifully, although they are starting to stretch, and I think they're getting maybe a little aged. I particularly love this guy with the dark and the green, the chartreuse with the dark, and the pink with the chartreuse. I love chartreuse. I can't help it. It's a beautiful combination. So the limelight has really come together. I'm really happy with it. So this is the third year for the limelight, and this is its basically first full summer in this spot because I've moved it a number of times, trying to find a good spot for it where it gets just the right amount of sun and the right conditions. I love how big these panicles have gotten. I don't know if you can see how big this is. If I put my hand in the picture, it is huge, and I love it. And even though there's a lot of sun damage in the center of the plant, I think from a distance it looks really good. One of the things I will be working on next year is better pruning. I was worried about pruning too much and not leaving enough stems for panicles to form on, but I think this next year I'm going to work more at trimming out some of the weaker stems that have ended up here at the base, because look at these things that are standing up are just gorgeous. I'm so happy with how big this is. It's just a beautifully striking entry plant to the yard. I think I'm going to close out my beginning of September garden tour here. The eastern redbud is looking pretty nice. When I did plant the zinnias here that I purchased late in the summer, I could tell there was a lot of root development here, so that was nice. And the echinacea are doing pretty good, and the nepeta. I'm happy with the way things worked. I planted that ring of euonymus to kind of add to that green look that I like from Linda Votter, and then there's another social media personality that I follow, Room I Haven in Europe. Really love her style, but I don't think I live in the same zone she is, so I'm just trying to emulate her using things that we can grow here. I have a couple of new plants here that haven't been potted. This is a skyrocket juniper and a desert orchid that I plan to put in the yard. As we move into the fall season, I'm hoping to really have learned a lot from all the videos I've been making and posting for this year as I plan for next year's garden. There's a lot of things I want to change, a lot of things I want to move around. So I'm probably going to be pretty busy making those changes in the next few months as the weather cools off and it's safer to move things around. But thank you for joining me today in the garden, and please let me know if you have ideas on things that I could make changes to or that you see that aren't working. I'm definitely someone who likes structure yet whimsy, which are two things that just don't go together very well. So if you have ideas or you see things on social media, please let me know. Have a great day.